This is Dave Vellante, and I'd like to welcome you back to theCUBE's coverage of Couchbase Connect Online, where the theme of this event is Modernize Now. And one of the big announcements is Capella, which of course, as you all undoubtedly know, is the brightest star in the constellation Auriga, which is Latin for charioteer. Yep, you can find that in the constellation, in the night sky in late Feb, early March in the Northern Hemisphere. So with that little tidbit, I'd like to welcome in Scott Anderson to theCUBE, who's the Senior Vice President of Product Management and Business Operations at Couchbase. Scott, welcome, good to see you.
Thank you very much, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. So you've launched Couchbase Capella. If I understand correctly, it's built on Couchbase Server 7, which you launched just a few months ago in the middle of the summer. Can you give us an overview of Capella?
Yeah, absolutely. So Couchbase Capella is our fully managed databases service for enterprise applications. One of the goals of launching Capella and our database as a service offering that we just announced today is about increasing the accessibility of Couchbase. So it's about making it easy for a developer or an enterprise to get up and running in just a few clicks in a couple of minutes. And about making it more affordable and accessible through the development phase, through the test phase, the production phase. So really, it's about ease of use, having the right offerings aligned to the phase of development that a customer is in, and eventually into the production of their enterprise application, leveraging Capella and Couchbase Server 7.
So let me ask you, I went pretty deep with Ravi on the technical side, and I want to understand what makes Capella different from some of the competitive offerings. Is it the sort of the fundamentals that I learned from Ravi about how you guys have really done an awesome focus on SQL, but been able to maintain ACID compliance, deal with distributed architectural challenges, and then bringing that over to database as a service? Is that the fundamental? What are some of the other differentiators?
Yeah, that is the fundamental. We have an amazing platform that Ravi and our core engineering team have built. And we've talked about that, and I think Ravi mentioned that, the ease of SQL and applying that into a documented-oriented database. Then combining some of those capabilities with the ease of use, the ability that you can get up and running, signing up for our free trial, a couple of minutes later, you've got a database endpoint that is fully managed by Couchbase. And so we're doing the monitoring, we're doing alerting, we have calls to action based off what events are occurring within the database environment, ensuring it's always available, as well as doing kind of some of the mundane tasks of backup and recovery, scaling the environment, upgrades, and so forth. So it's really about ease of use, making it, leveraging our incredibly robust, broad platform, and then making that a different consumable model for our customers and developers and getting started really easily. The other thing that we've done is really leverage the best practices over the last 10 or 11 years of some of the largest enterprises in the world using Couchbase for the mission critical applications. So we've codified those best practices, and that's how we keep that service high performant, always on, highly available. And that's one of the core value propositions that we're able to bring with Capella. It's really that management capability, global visibility of your clusters, coupled with what we believe is the best NoSQL database in the marketplace today.
What about cost, total cost of ownership as you scale? A lot of times when you scale out, you get diseconomies of scale. It's kind of like, you get that negative curve. What are you seeing?
Yeah, we've done third-party benchmark studies which have proven out how we are able to linearly scale the environment and continue on that curve. As you add nodes, you're getting that incremental performance that you would expect. The other thing that we do that's really unique in Couchbase is our multidimensional scaling. And this allows you to place our services, things like data, index, query, full text search indexes, and analytics. You can co-locate those on single nodes within a cluster, or you can have dedicated nodes for each one of those services. The reason that is important is you get workload isolation for those specific services within our cluster. The other thing that you can do is you can match the compute infrastructure to the needs of each one of those services. So some services like query are much more core compute intensive, and that allows you to have a specific instance type that is optimized for that, reducing your cost. Indexes where you want very fast performance, you may want to have a higher amount of memory relative to the number of cores. So that ability to mix and match the infrastructure with an existing cluster allows us to lower overall cost. That coupled with our blazing fast performance, with our in-memory architecture, allows people to get incredible performance at scale. What we've proven out in the study that I mentioned earlier is we have that linear scalability, and you're able to do more for less at the end of the day. You're getting more operations per second, per dollar, if you want to use that as a metric, Dave.
Got it. Thank you for that. What do customers need to think about when they want to get started with Capella? How difficult is it for people to jump in?
It is incredibly simple. It's as simple as going to couchbase.com, clicking on start your free trial. You go into that free trial, you provide a minimal set of information for us, and it's literally a few clicks, and you're going to have a database endpoint within 3 minutes. And that's really been a foundation of what we've been focused on over the last 6 to 9 months, is removing any friction we can in the process, because our goal is to give a tremendous user experience and get people up and running as quickly as possible. So we're really, really proud of that. And then from a paid offering perspective, we have a number of offerings which are really aligned to the needs of each customer. Some individuals who want a larger cluster and they want to and be able to pay for that, we've optimized service levels around that in terms of level of support and the features that we think are appropriate for a dev cycle, a test cycle, and then into production. And lastly, we'll be announcing a number of promotional starter pack bundles, really trying to couple the overall service that we have with Capella with some of our expertise. So helping new users get up and running in terms of things like index definitions. What's the best way to do document design and schema within Couchbase? Our end goal is to match these services and bundles with the life cycle of application development. So in my development phase, what's the offering for me? As I move for production readiness, what services capabilities I need, and then production and the ongoing if I expand my use. So we've been really focused on how do we get people up and running as quickly as possible, and how do we get them to production as quickly as possible at the lowest total cost.
That's nice. That's a nice accelerant for customers. So as you heard up front, I did a little research about the name Capella.
Yeah.
How did you choose it and why?
Well, one thing I learned early in my career is naming is not a strong suit of mine. I leave that to John, our Chief Marketing Officer, and the overall team. We all have opinions, but I trust John. And we went through, I think it was over 60 names, 7 rounds of debate to come up with Capella. But we wanted a name of strength. We like the alliteration, Couchbase and Capella together. One of the little facts maybe we've tipped it over is I believe in Latin it means little goat. So we kind of played, I'm from the Bay Area, so I always think to Jerry Rice, GOAT, greatest of all time. So that was a nice play on that also. But I leave it to them, and really happy with the overall name. Love the alliteration, love some of the hidden meanings within that. And we're really, really excited about getting it going. So you wouldn't want me to pick the name. I get a vote, but I would say my overall influence is a little bit lower than where John's is and Matt Cain, who I know you spoke with previously.
I love it. Jerry Rice definitely is the little goat, because I'm from New England, so of course we think Tom Brady is the big goat. So.
I know I grew up in that Joe Montana era, so maybe we can take that offline after this interview. We can have our own debate. But I guess Super Bowl trophies are the ultimate measure at the end of the day.
Now, wait, I got another little stat for you. So Capella is also one of the 88 modern constellations as adopted by the International Astronomical Union, i.e. not one of the ancient constellations. Pretty clever, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Scott, it's great to have you on theCUBE. Thanks so much, I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right, and
yeah,
thank you for watching. Thank you for watching, our pleasure. Thank you for watching theCUBE's coverage of Couchbase Connect 2021. Keep it right there for more great content.